we're a little bit more transformed. We're a little bit closer to our inner transformation to the good. And so be it. All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Pleasure to be here with you guys. It's a beautiful sun, as Joe said. Beautiful and cold, right? What a good day. All right. So this month we have last week and we continued for the entire month talking about the spiritual education, and the theme that was given to me was learn, teach, and be the example. You know, it's very interesting topic to study about. And the first thing that I want to call out is that we're not talking about learning, teaching, those things that we need to know intellectually, right? We all here to progress and morally and intellectually, but everything that we're going to talk about today will be about moral education. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, so let's get started, and if the pointer works, we move to the next slide. And the first thing that I want to call out comes from the Gospel according to Spiritism. That says, Spiritists, love one another. That is the first precept, and educate yourself is the second. And we're going to talk about educate ourselves, right? So there's a message that comes from Emmanuel where he says that only the educated mind can produce illuminated forms of thoughts. So if we're going to talk about teaching, if we're going to talk about be the example, the first thing that we need to do is educate ourselves. If we're not educated, how can we teach others, right? So the professors in the university, they need to know what they're gonna teach others, right? And cannot just appear there and talk whatever they want. They need to get prepared. They need to know what they're talking about, right? And then in the same chapter it continues, within Christianity you will find all the truths. So the next slides that we're gonna go through, we're gonna talk about Christianity, what that means, right? So similar to what Jesus said, Jesus didn't came to destroy the law, the Jewish law, the laws that the people knew at that time, right? Spiritism didn't came to destroy Jesus' teachings, Jesus' laws, right? Because everything that Jesus did was perfect. What we are doing with Spiritism is carrying it out. So if you remember, one of the chapters that we have in the Gospel according to Spiritism is about charity, right? A lot of things that we talk here at TSS and in Spirit Centers at Spiritist, as a Spiritist, we talk about charity, right? So the charity is putting all of those teachings in practice, right? And that is what we have to keep in mind. And that is what us as a Spiritism we need to bring. So with Jesus, we're gonna learn everything that we need, and he told us in the book Pensamento e Vida. I don't think it's translated to English, but it would be something like Thought and Life, right? Emmanuel bring it to us. Let us remember that the eternal benefactor, Jesus, in his verbal lesson, fixed in the imperative form the warning to which we refer, shine your light. Okay? And what the shine your light means, what that light is, right? And we need to remember that we all have that light. We have everything that Jesus is telling us to do inside of us, right? We have our conscience. Our conscience have everything that God expects from us. We just need to bring that awareness towards that. And that's inside of us. We just need to make it. It's like a seed, right? We in that small seed, what happens? A big tree come up, right? All the fruits that we can eat come from a small seed. Sometimes not that small. It's a little bit bigger, but It's all inside a seed. And then Emmanuel continues saying, and such a deed can only be attained by the education which will enable us to do justly. So, what that education is, right? We have been talking about. It's not education that we get at school. It's not education that we get at university. It's the education that we get to take us from that darkness, from the things that we do that we know that's not right, that is not where we want to get. And in another book, Emmanuel says, so that the divine light may shine forth from human darkness is necessary for the educational process of life in us. So this education is our incarnation, is the process that we go through in our lives, day in, day out, right? So this education is the chance that we have every day to do something good, right? It's part of this education, the relationships that we have, with our families, with our friends, with our co-workers. This education is everything that we go through, the hard moments and the good moments, right? Doesn't we say in Brazil that you learn through love or through pain, right? Yeah, and that's true. When someone loves us, when someone does something good for us that we feel that love, we learn something there. We learn how to love others. When we suffer something, we may learn how not to do, right? So things that we should be educating ourselves. So life is this education process that we go through. So the next question that I thought that we should answer is, what should we study then, right? What exactly Jesus brought to us? And we have a chapter in the Gospel according to Spirit. Don't worry, I'm not going to read everything here, but we have a chapter in the Gospel according to Spiritism that talks about being perfect. The name of the chapter is Be Perfect. And one of those items in that chapter talks about what the true Christian is. It talks also about the Spiritists, good Spiritists, but a true Christian, because as Spiritists, let's not forget that being a Spiritist is nothing else than being a Christian, right? And it gives, excuse me, it gives us a lot of different items, and I highlight what we're going to talk a little bit in each one of them. So, have faith in the future. So we have faith in the future means what? That we have faith that something better will come in this life, in the next, in another life, in the eternal, as eternal spirit, right? Things will get better every day. We know that the pain that we go through, that pain is temporary, and it will stop at a time that we have learned what we have to learn from that, right? As well as the happy moments. We know that we are in a planet of trials and expiation at this moment, and a transition to a better world, but we still have to go through that. So we need to understand that happiness will somehow pass as well. So that pain and happiness is part of what? Education that we talk, and we need to accept this. So have faith in the future, faith that a better planet, this will be a better planet, that we as spirits, we will go to a better place one day, right? We have to accept that pain with resignation. The other thing that a true Christian does is love do good for the sake of goodness. So with no intention, they just do it. They just do it without expecting any payment, without expect anything back from that, right? They like to do good because it's good for them. They feel good when they do that. They see all men and women as brothers and sisters. So They don't do good just for those around them, right? Just thinking about, oh, I know Dani. Dani is a good person. I like her. She's my friend. I'm going to do something for her. I don't know Joe very well, so I don't know do anything for her. No, that's not like that. So they do the good to anyone that passed their path. Right, so they see the entire universe, they see the entire earth, and the spirits that are incarnate here as their brothers and sisters. So it's like one big family. We are all brothers and sisters, and if we think that we are all created by God, right? We may not be in the same human family, but as in God's eyes, we are all His daughters and sons, and we are all in the same family. The Christians, they also shared. Oops. Can you fix that for me, please? Thank you. Charity guides them in every circumstance. So, for a Christian, there is no, think like small or bad charity, right? Small or big, charity. They see opportunities in everything that they are doing as an opportunity to do charity. At work, with the family members, with a strange, whatever they can do, picking up something that is in the floor that should be in the trash. That's something that a Christian would do just because, someone else dropped that. It should be in the trash. Let's do it. That's charity as well. We have to stop thinking that charity is just, I'm going to help someone that is poor. I'm going to give money to this institution because it's nice to do it. That's charity for sure. We should continue doing that. But there is other types of charity that we learn through Spiritism, right? That and through other many religions, but here at TSS, we learn a lot about that through the Gospel according to Spiritism. That charity is not is being indulgent towards others, is being kind, is being have a chat with someone that need to talk. That's charity, right? Forgiveness, right? And forgiveness is the next one. They follow the example of Jesus by forgiving and forgetting all offenses, right? And they do that not. They do that because they also make mistakes, right? And we should be thinking about this. Why I wouldn't forgive my wife for something that she did to me if, I have offended her as well in many other occasions. Why I shouldn't forgive a friend that did something that I didn't like if probably I have done tons of other things that he didn't like, right? Or she didn't like. Bless you. Right? People are indulgent with the weakness of others, right? So let's just remember what the indulgence is. Indulgence is that we don't expect bad things from other people. They do not expect that, we have that thing that, he's doing that, but he's doing that to, that will be something that will be bad for me because of this and that, whatever reason is. We always have thinking, this person is doing that to get this. This person is doing that to get that, right? It's never that, this person is doing this good thing because he's just good, right? So the Christians who are indulgent, they would look the good in others, right? Oh, Danny did that, but sorry, Danny, you're the first person I always see. Danny did that because she was trying to fix something. I don't know. Sometimes they see something bad happening, but try to find a good reason for that. That's being indulgent. It doesn't matter if the intention, but the indulgent person, they just try to see the good thing on those actions from others. Okay. They study their own imperfection and work unceasingly to combat them. So, and that's one of the characters that should be in the Spiritists. That is very, very much highlighted as for us as a Spiritist, that we work on our own imperfection. So I like to say there's the only moment that we can judge is judging ourselves, right? That we can look inside ourselves instead of judging others. We look to ourselves and judge ourselves, and we say, this was good, this was not that good, I need to work on this, right? So that inner transformation is quite important for a Christian, right? Never tries to emphasize the importance of their own spirit or talents at the expense of others. So that's humbleness, right? The Christians, they, instead of looking to what they have done good, they highlight what others did good, right? They look to those that have done something that are really nice and emphasize that, So they humble themselves, saying, yeah, I'm doing my job. I'm, truly humbleness, because they cannot just underestimate ourselves and say, I'm a terrible person. No, I'm doing a good job. It's okay to say that. But look what this person is doing. Instead of looking to them and giving themselves an example, they go and give others examples, right? And respect the rights of their fellow beings. So the basic, right? Do unto others what you want others to do unto you. So they respect the timing. For others to learn. They respect the other's way of thinking. They just respect them, and that is something that for me would include everything else, right? When you respect others, you are being humble, you are forgiving whatever they have done, because that's the way that they think at that time. So there is a lot of other things in all of that. So it's a lot, that's what in I don't know how many other incarnations we're gonna need to have all of that, but that's how all of us should be thinking and acting, right? So the next question that came to my mind is, okay, I know all of this and that I have to do, and how do I learn more about it, right? And then Emmanuel bring this on the book, on the newspaper, right? The news saying Reformador in 1963, saying, aspire to the title of the Lord's friends, urges not to lose his instructions. We endeavor to study his words and attitudes, and clearly we have no other resource to penetrate their luminous meaning. So we know in one of the questions, I don't remember the number of the questions, as many spiritists know, but in the Spirit's book, we have a question that tells who was the most evolved spirit that came to Earth, and the answer from the Spirit was Jesus, right? That's why we always should look to Jesus as instructor, his words and attitudes, right? So the first thing that we need to do is starting to go to the gospel, reading books that tell us what Jesus did, and Emmanuel has a lot of books and I forgot the articles about how Jesus teaching, what Jesus did and what that means, trying to translate those things that sometimes if you go to the Bible, that get a little bit confusing, you don't understand that. So through Chico Xavier, he brought a lot of teachings for understanding better what Jesus did, right? So this is about learning, and the first thing, as I said, we all should be learning to be able to teach. And if we're gonna teach, if we're gonna educate others, why are we gonna do that? right? Every single person should go and learn and be able to grow in their path and their evolution. But we don't learn by ourselves. If it was that easy to just go and read a book, we wouldn't have schools. We wouldn't have teachers and professors, right? So in Live Spring, Emmanuel also brings to us, educate and you will build heaven on earth. So this is for me why we should be educating others. We should helping others, right? And when we say educate here, again, let's remember that it's not about intellectually, it's about morally. So that heaven that we are asking for, that we want so badly when we disincarnate, it could be here. It could be on earth. We don't need to wait until we get to this other planet or this heaven to have that peace and love that we want. Everything could be here. It's just a matter of us starting teaching this, educating others, right? And Emmanuel in another book says, educate and you will transform irrationality into intelligence, intelligence into humanity, and humanity into angelhood. So it's a process. We have been seeing that through the different incarnations, through the years, right? We have been growing, we have been evolving, right? We have to sometimes I heard people say, oh no, this planet is even worse than when Jesus was here. That's not true. It's just because we saw so many bad things happening in the news, and so small good things that they put in the news, that we have that sense. But there's a lot of good things happening, right? Every day. We just don't see that. So the world is getting better, and everything that science and everything that come to us as a material intelligence way, it's coming as well morally. We are learning to be a better people, right? And then on the book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life, we have Emmanuel saying, human parents must be the individual's first mentors. So, who we should be educating? Other than ourselves, we should be educating those with us, right? Our parents are the first teachers. We as parents, we are educating those that came, and as a spirits that we will be protecting, will be helping and teaching, right? Let's remember that it's not only for the parents, grandparents, uncles, friends, whoever is around, we all could be helping to educate those kids, right? When we say grandparents, for example, it's not that grandparents, you should not be giving that extra candy to the grandson, right? Of course they will do that. Who doesn't have that memory of a grandparent doing that thing that your mother didn't want you to do, right? That is okay. What we're talking about here is that the grandparents should not say the kid does something that's very bad, that morally it's not right, and we say no, that's okay. Now that's the moment that the grandparent will also educate, because I'm sure all of us here can remember a moment where we did something bad and our grandparent came and say, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. At least I do. I remember both moments with my grandparents, right? So everyone, we should be helping whoever is around us to grow, to help their kids to become better people, right? So who we educate? Everyone, kid, not kid, whoever you can, on a nice way. It's not go and try to preach to that person, and with nice words, in the right moment, you go and do that. So here we start talking about how we're gonna do that, how we're gonna educate. And that's the part that I want to get the most, because I think here is where we can do every day. That's how we do it in our life. So we go and we work, right? The Gospel according to Spiritism says, search for the true Christians, and you will recognize them by their works. So we know that if we want to be true Christians, if we want to be a good Spiritist, we need to demonstrate that, right? So it's working. And I'm going to read an entire chapter from this book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life, that tells a lot about this part. So Emmanuel's, the name of the chapter is chapter 49, Knowing and Doing, right? And it started with a passage from the Gospel of John, chapter 13, verse 17. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them. And Emmanuel starts, there is a big difference between knowing and doing. Nearly everybody knows, but few do. I don't think I need to comment anything here. I think Emmanuel was very clear here that we all are learning. We all have this inside of us. We all know what's right, what's wrong. Now it's up to us to do what's right, what's wrong, right? To do what's right, not what's wrong. And he continues, generally speaking, all religion sects only teach what constitutes the good. All of them have officials, believers, and disseminators, but true disciples are becoming scarcer and scarcer. And here the key word is disciple, right? What does a disciple mean? Disciple is not just those that go and learn from the master, right? So disciple is that not only learning, but is going and teach that as well, and is following the teachings from the master. In our case, Jesus. There are always voices capable of pointing out the way. It is the word of those who know. So we always have someone telling us what is right, what is wrong, right? If it's not someone incarnate, we always gonna get our guardian angels, our mentors, call it whatever you want, but we're gonna have that spirit that are gonna be helping us, and then we're gonna have Jesus. Jesus is always emanating love to us, right? Helping us. Few individuals courageously enter upon the path. They often do so in silence. They are forsaken, misunderstood. This is a supreme effort of those who do. You may remember now the passage from the Gospel, in the Gospel according to Spirit, that talks about the narrow door, right? It's very hard to get to that door. It's very hard to do what is good without being judged about that, right? If you decide to stop drinking, someone will come and say, why? Come on, what are you going to do? We all met once a month in the bar, and you're not going to drink? You're not going to have the beer with us? Someone will tell you. Maybe more than one. That is what he said, that we do that in silence. We change ourselves, and we go and do it without worrying about people judging us for that. Let's do it for the sake of good, like what we heard from previously, right? Jesus understood the indecisiveness of Earth's children in transmitting the word of the truth and the life to them. He set the ultimate example with his final sacrifice. The final sacrifice. When Jesus was in the cross, you may remember that he forgave everyone who had done that to him, right? Everyone that was there stoning him or saying bad things to him. In that moment, Jesus was forgiving everyone. He was going through his path, knowing what he had to do, and he forgave everyone. The existence of lofty theory involves the need for experience and labor. If spiritually constructive work were unnecessary, then the simplest theory of the good would cease to exist due to useless. So basically what he's saying here is that, if we just need to read a book and everything would be solved, would be very easy, right? And it would be done. But the thing is, we need to put the action in place. We need to do what we have learned. And finally he says, John wisely points out the master's lesson. In this verse, he shows that only those who actually practice the Lord's teaching can be blessed. There in the area of Christian services lies the difference between learn and practice, between knowing and doing. So basically, it's not enough for us to go and read Kardec's books, all André Luiz books, all books from Emmanuel. That's not enough, right? We need to put all of that in practice. We need to work hard. So, I want to do something with you guys before we continue. I want you all to close your eyes for a moment and think about a person that you admire. Think about a person that have all the qualities that we talked about. Think about this person that have faith, the person that have that love doing good, that love all brothers and sisters, do lots of charity, that forgive all the wrongs from others. That person there is indulgent, humble, and respect everyone's right. So now that I have someone in mind, you can open your eyes again. I want you to just to raise your hand. Who here have thought about someone famous like Jesus or Chico, Givaldo, Mandela? Hands up, please, so I can see it. All right. Who have think about your own parents, a neighbor, a friend, someone closer? Nice, very balanced. That's good. That's really good, because the first thing that we do when we think about those true Christians, the true spiritists, right? We think about someone famous and someone that have been doing lots and lots of things, right? And we easily forget those that are sitting next to us, that is doing a very hard work. They're, very regular people. And what I did for us today was prepare a series of examples of, small acts of charity, small acts of good that, we don't see in the news every day. It's, but if you, a few years ago, I decided to follow some good news sites, and there is one named Good News Network. Very small things, sometimes very silly things, but it's nice to see those good things happen every day to balance the bad things that we know that is happening as well, right? So, and there is not only one, there's a bunch of sites that you can follow and you can look at it. When I start doing that, it's very nice, the stories that we have. So I'm gonna ask, let me put the first one here. I have all of them.
Amazing story of compassion from a complete stranger. The security guard at Lake County Waffle House was working his normal shift when a father and son caught his eye.
You can see here, right?
Check from a complete stranger. The security guard at Lake County Waffle House was working his normal shift when a father and son caught his eye.
Yeah, he realized something wasn't right there and started talking to them. And just a few minutes later, the security guard made a big offer to that father and son. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us live with their story. Angelique?
Let's be honest here. This security guard probably did something that you and I wouldn't imagine doing, and that is helping a total stranger. But the homeless man who was on the benefit of what he did says he doesn't know where he would be without him.
I was homeless by myself. I could survive this street on my own, but it come down to child, it was a total different game for me.
Lamont Hammond says his 8-year-old son Monty is his world. And although he had been homeless before as an individual, he just couldn't imagine having his son to sleep on the streets. With very little money in his pocket, he headed into this Waffle House on Tara Boulevard, not knowing what to do next. That's when he met security officer Amen Webster.
I tried to get a hotel for me and my son to stay in, but all the hotels was too expensive. I was really stressed out, and I didn't want to see my little boy in the street.
Security officer Webster says he had been homeless before and could see the pain written all over Lamont's face. So he sat down and talked to him.
I'm like, what's wrong? I'm like, man, I got a bad day, man. I'm homeless on the streets and my girl done put me out and I ain't got nowhere to stay. And I'm looking at the little boy, he's shivering and cold and everything.
Webster told the Waffle House manager he needed a quick break. He took total strangers Lamont and Monty to his 2-bedroom apartment, then headed back to work. Fortunately, Lamont has a job. He works at Zaxby's and gets a disability check and hopes to be back on his feet again. But he says he will never forget the security guard that took him in when he had no place else to go.
And he's offered me to let me stay in his wonderful apartment, you know, and I'll take for people like that a job for me too.
Okay. So how many of us would do that, right? How many of us would open our house to a totally strange person and let the person be in your house when you go back to your work? Because that's what happened, right? The other case here, the other example that I brought was these guys. I forgot the name of the city, but the cops are there, and what they are doing is helping unserved kids to just playing chess. So it may seem, he's just playing chess, but what they are really doing there, it's not teaching them how to play chess. They are serving as an example for those kids. And when you're playing, you may be talking, right? So the kids may be talking about their lives, what's going on in their lives, and those cops can maybe helping them, again, setting the example. Let's do this other video here. Let's see what happens.
You want your toes?
At first glance, 31-year-old Chris Salvatore and 89-year-old Norma Patavina look a bit like an odd couple.
Isn't he so cute?
But this pair is inseparable. The actor and retiree became fast friends 4 years ago.
Thought he was beautiful.
As neighbors, Chris and Norma grew close, sharing long talks, birthdays, even holidays together. And when Norma was diagnosed with leukemia, she didn't have family to turn to. She had Chris.
Chris was such a big help to me.
Because I love you.
And I love you.
Norma needs expensive, around-the-clock care, so her best friend turned to social media to raise the money.
It's pizza night.
Their online adventures like Pizza Night attracted a crowd, raising tens of thousands of dollars.
Are you doing any dating apps lately?
It seems strangers adore this relationship as much as these two care for each other.
She's like family. Like I said, she's my grandmother.
When the donation money ran out and Norma needed more care, the neighbors decided to become roommates. Norma would never be alone again.
As much as I'm here helping her, she's helped me tremendously. It's really brought me back to what's important. Family, love, human kindness.
The bond of a lifetime, and the true meaning of love thy neighbor. Gail Almaguer, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Hey, NBC News fans, thank
So another example, right? It's a clear example of those who understand that we are all brothers and sisters. It's not the, being born in the same family that would make us brothers and sisters. This one, has another story about a Walmart cashier who paid half of a $200 bill of a family of 5. So she said that, I just feel inspired that I want to pay half of your bill. You may need a little bit break of your struggles, and I'm gonna pay for it. And that was totally unexpected by the person who got that. And this quote comes from there. It has opened my heart. I plan on paying it forward in the future. So again, this person setting the example. And we can think that, a Walmart cashier may not get lots of money. Maybe he's struggling as much as this other person here, right? But still, she felt that she should do it, and she did. This other teacher here, I don't know if you guys saw this. A lot of this I saw on Facebook, so I like it. She created this chairs here with tennis ball to kids with autism or syndrome of Down and other type of syndromes that doesn't have lots of need some help to concentrate. And she says, just gonna read you what she says, that sensory sitting is used for students who may have difficulties processing information from their senses and from the world around them. It provides the chair provides an alternative texture to improve sensory regulation. So it's a school there. She works on this school that help those kind of kids, and she just did it for them, for her students. And then this slice of pizza here, I was not hungry when I was doing it. It's just another story where there is a wildfire close to a highway, and there's a lot of cars there stand still, just waiting for hours and hours to be able to get to their homes. And then this guy that was a owner of a pizza place, he brought pizza and water for those guys because it was time for dinner and people should be starving there. So he thought, let me bring some pizza to these guys, right? And of course that happens in Italy, right? Should happen in Italy. So again, a very simple act for a person that could care less about that. Being their home, that's my business. So why I would spend money of my business helping someone else? Of course, that can help him with marketing and get some extra clients, but still, he did something good, right? And the last one, let's watch this video first. It's a Canadian one. They have seen it.
When the best of us steps up, our nation stands a little taller. We all play for
So this last one was from a Canadian non-profit organization trying to raise funds to the Paralympic teams. And, again, another organization, another person, another group of people. So there's two last examples here I brought because, we talk about we help everyone that we can, right, through the example. So these two organizations are raising money. They are getting something from it, but they are still setting examples, right? So when they do something like that, organizations are helping. So we may see some companies out there doing events, trying to raise money, and sometimes the only thing that we think about is, they are doing that for marketing to get more clients. Yeah, part of it is that, but behind that there is a lot of things, a lot of people organizing that, and the time of that people we spend on that, they are doing that not just because it's a job, it's because they truly believe in that, they love that, they do that because they think that's the right thing to do. So before we judge those companies that are doing that, let's embrace that. Thank you, Raquel. Let's embrace that. Let's get to the mood as well and do what is right to do. Alright, just to finish that, I want to bring this as the last slide for us to keep in mind as Spiritists, right? The true Spiritists can be recognized by their moral transformation and by the efforts they employ in order to dominate their bad intention. So that's the first thing, going back to the education that we should be doing, right? That is educating ourselves, doing our internal transformation, and as we do that, let's put in practice. Let's be the example. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marcio. We have time for questions or comments from those present here and for those who are watching us on Fab TV or Facebook Live. Who wants to be first?
I thought that, for me, the summary of everything that you said is being the example in the sense that you don't need to, you just need to be you. Do the things that you tend to do, because we need to evolve internally first, right, before trying to help someone else. And sometimes I can see now things. We have two girls at our house, our nieces, and I see that most of the time they mimic you, and that made me think exactly on my actions, because if they see me doing something, they will do exactly like me. So that made me start thinking before acting, and I didn't used to do that because I didn't have anyone looking to me as the example. And I feel that we just need to be us and do our best day after day, and not trying to show off, being I helped this person because it's good, and tell everyone that you did that. No, you did that because you really think it's good, and it doesn't matter if anyone knows or not. It makes you happy and not everyone else happy, right?
Yeah, it's I won't say surprising, but it's nice to see how many people come to this Spiritist house and other Spiritist house, and you ask them, they don't know anything about Spiritism, and says, why did you come here? Are you in a spiritual journey or something? Some people are, but the vast majority come for a very simple reason. They met a Spiritist person and they thought, well, this person seems to get everything together. They seem to be content, they are nice, people like them, they seem to be happy with their life. I want to be like that because my life is troubled. I'm in constant stress and so forth. Now, that's not to say the Spiritists don't have stress and we don't have our challenges.
I wish, right?
Yeah, but we do make a difference by practicing what we preach, and we don't have to preach it if we practice it. Right? Any other comments? Thank you, Marcio. This is a call of action. We're a month away from Easter, and Easter is a traditional time of year where we think about those who don't have as much as we do, that are even have more challenges and are in need of comfort and a handout. So you have a whole month to start thinking, what can I do, even in the simplest things, to help others? Thank you, Marcio. I will ask to bring in the folks from the Children Education, and we'll get ready for our passing. I'd like to thank everybody who's been watching us live. Please join us every week. We also broadcast Wednesdays and Thursdays our live study of Spiritism classes. Thank you very much, and hope to see you next week. Mr. Magalhães, no caminho